Hi everyone,
everyone.
welcome back to Infinity Wealth.
We are having a insane week once again. I must
Yep.
say, you know what, we are living in these times. Like it's crazy, Martin. Like the times
It's
we're living,
unprecedented, mate. It's
it's more.
unprecedented.
There needs to be a new term. As unprecedented is not enough. I feel like
No,
it's more than that. It's insane, and you obviously
unprecedented on steroids.
yeah, yeah, literally. You've obviously seen from the title of this video what we're talking about today. So the main talk of today's conversation will be crypto and property, and I know there's a lot going on. Me and Martin have seen a lot. Again, we are involved in these markets on a daily. We are invested into these markets, so we know what is going on, and we're here to bring you the hottest and the latest of what's going on, so you are also clued in as well. So yeah, we've got another very, very valuable session today, basically what I will say. But before we go into it, I'm just going to do the compulsory of, please, again, if you are new to this channel, welcome. First and foremost, we talk everything about wealth, building your infinite wealth, and please do like and subscribe to our channel, like these videos, and even share them with one friend. It helps build the community tremendously. You guys have done a fantastic job up until now, but please, if you're new, like, have a browse around our website, our channel. You start to see what our videos are about. We are no BS, we are straight to the point. We're always talking, we're always very open, and you will learn a lot, really, really will. And we've got tremendous feedback from a lot of people. So welcome again to another episode, and please do like, subscribe, and comment below. So yeah, Martin, I think we need to, the first and foremost thing we need to talk about is crypto. What has happened? What is going on? Give us your
we were just speaking before we came on, right? Crypto's gone mad. It's gone absolutely mad. Insane. Right? The main thing is the altcoins.
Yeah.
Bitcoin, as far as its mojo is concerned, it's lost a bit of oomph. But if you look at Litecoin, Ethereum, they are moving. Like yesterday, right? Bearing in mind, we are doing this recording on Sunday, right? And crypto markets are 24 hours, right? So I do look at my crypto markets, right? And Litecoin was down 9.5% yesterday, right? 9.5%. It's up this morning. It went as low as, hold on, let me just have a look. It went as low as 21, I think it was, on Friday.
Yeah.
And then it dropped 9%. It then went up 9% to 263 overnight, basically. And Ethereum is doing the same thing. The main problem is that Bitcoin has a ceiling of 60, right? If it breaks that, and it looked as if overnight, it looked as if it was going to break it. It really, really did, right? If it breaks that 60, it's 68, next stop. Right, but it has to not just break it and poke its head above, over 61 and just hang around. Yeah, that's what it needs to do. But if it's a quick poke and maybe an hour spike, then it could easily come back down again. So you just need to monitor it. But if you're into crypto right now, you're probably better off using the altcoins at the moment. To make a maximum return. Right. And when we were talking offline, Kiki, I was saying to you, it's funny, there's something going on and I'm not sure what's going on. But a lot of the investment funds and everyone else saying, we're buying Bitcoin, we're buying Bitcoin, we're buying Bitcoin. It went 61, then it fell all the way back to, even dropped back to 52 again. And then rose back up, and it's been bouncing between 52 and 60. And I said to you, it looks as if it could be. When there's a resistance point, some of these way chart patterns work is it keeps bouncing up to resistance and it's in a zone. It could break that zone and it will just shoot straight up, basically. And that's what we're looking for. So if you're not actually invested in crypto, as in Bitcoin at the moment, then it's worthwhile just keeping your eye on it to see if it's already making a move. If you're already invested, then you're just waiting for the next move up, maybe adding if it falls at the moment. But it's just funny that overall, Kiki, with all this bullish sentiment with Morgan Stanley recommending it to his high net worth individuals, and some of the Elon Musk going out with Bitcoin, and our current friend Kathy Wood, who's followed by millions. But it hasn't moved up. Right, but the altcoins have, and I think our opportunity, is in the altcoins.
Yeah, 100%. And I've been doing, obviously, we both, Martin, have been involved in the crypto market for ages, and I think obviously even before, of not as early as the sort of 10,000 Bitcoin for a pizza, not as early as that, but earlier than I would definitely say earlier than the actual hype happened. Before the newspaper started talking about it for sure. We've been talking about this for ages, and the one thing I've observed is especially in the previous, we've had multiple. The only biggest bull run we had was in that 2017, and the 18 crash that happened, obviously, where Bitcoin hit his all last time. But before that, we've always had these sort of like trending sort of mini bull runs, basically, before we got to that sort of all-time high. And one thing I've observed and is that as soon as Bitcoin sort of reaches those sort of regions, and I was actually reading articles and videos about this like this week, in terms of like, oh, this is what I was thinking, and this is what other people are thinking as well, is what happens is, we know most investors aren't in it for the actual value of crypto, right? And most investors are in it for the trading, for the short term, the money making, basically. And that's no surprise, right? Most people, there's only a limited amount of people that actually understand the blockchain, actually understand the value of what crypto can bring. So, but we all know, most people, even to an element of the reason why we get in stocks, there's an element of us understanding, okay, which companies are good, but also we're in it for the financial gain. So essentially what happens is the Bitcoin gets to all-time high, then it's sort of like the hype or the increase doesn't go as much as what it was previously. So the people that are either invested, then all of a sudden the altcoins start rising, is because now they're going to the alternative places where they can continue getting a gain. So it's those investors that are they're not selling all their Bitcoin, but they're taking drips and drabs enough for the altcoins, because the altcoins don't cost much, right?
Yeah, that's it. That's exactly what they're doing. They're selling a bit of Bitcoin because they've made a massive gain in Bitcoin. And what they're then going, well, I've made a massive, I'll just sell some of my Bitcoins and I will translate back to Litecoin, Ethereum, and all those other XRP. I mean, XRP's gone completely mad, especially, it collapsed and then all of a sudden it's just had a massive run, an absolute massive run. But so you're absolutely right. A lot of it is based on people just taking profits on one coin and moving to the other coin.
Literally, it's an interesting behavior, because it's then when Bitcoin starts moving, then the other starts slowing down. So it's like it's something that now this is the data that when we're trading normal stocks or even currencies and stuff on a chart, we can see this behavior in terms of manipulation of resistance lines, support lines, where these sort of key levels are. And this is the behavior that sort of starts giving us these key levels to start to see, where these one second, let's put my charger in, where these investors, start literally taking it off and put it into the altcoin. So it starts to make sense as to that behavior is repeating again and again. And investing is all human behavior. It's not computers or robots. It's literally humans making these decisions, whether they're big institutions or whether they're small-time investors, right? They're all sort of thinking along the lines of trying to do the same thing, of just basically taking as much money as they can. So it's a very, very interesting.
Yeah, and the thing is, it's the same in stocks and shares, right? What you tend to do is you tend to rotate out some of the winners into laggards, right? Because the stocks that have lagged behind, you anticipate them playing a catch up.
Yeah.
So this is exactly what's happening in the crypto world.
Yeah,
right.
Exactly.
So people are saying, well, actually, Bitcoin is really expensive. So let's say if you were new to crypto, the cost of Litecoin, to buy one Litecoin is peanuts compared to buying one Bitcoin. Or even buying Ripple. So people say, oh, actually, I've seen what Bitcoin can do. Maybe I'll just buy a couple of altcoins, basically, and put them away.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Really, really intriguing. Also, the other thing is the actual what would I say? the actual like information and knowledge for the time period that we've had the crash, basically, where crypto has been pretty much dead, basically, you know, where it's been flat. There was a lot of distrust and people saying, well, it's finished now. You know, a lot like crypto's sort of gone, crypto's dead, it's all died down. Bitcoin will survive, and everything else will sort of die down. It's really interesting to now see the second wave of this re-information igniting, because it's not changed. And it's almost as if like people going back to what they were saying before, and even the people that were saying cryptos are dead and altcoins are dead. So it's this very weird repetitive sheep behavior that is just repeating again. Because I genuinely thought, okay, so now people see altcoins are back up again, so maybe people have a different perspective on them and consciously invest. But it's that same dead thinking in sheep investment once again. Oh, quick, Ripple's going up. Buy. Yeah, it's like, do you know what I mean? It's like
it's trading. It's trading, and they are trading. You know, but one of the things I think those people that are new to crypto, right? One of the things that you've got to realize is, look, most people went into crypto, long-term holders of crypto, was because they didn't believe in the fiat system anymore, right? Where it's all regulated, where they can print free money as they will. Crypto is not like that. So the younger generation basically went, well, I'm going to just go into crypto. Now, the advantage of blockchain and crypto is that it's an external system. It's an unregulated, uncentralized system. So I could send you money, you could send me money, right? And this is the beauty of it. And you don't need some stupid bank or anyone else. And this is long-term thinking, right? So whether that, I'm sure that at some stage that will take off, where you don't need to do transactions around the world. You don't need, and which is why Bitcoin went and all the other currencies went. Now, if you're new to crypto and you believe in some sort of aspect of, it's pretty new, you don't have to be a trader, right? What you can do is buy bit at a time. Right? And you build your position. So if you do pound cost or dollar cost averaging in and are looking at a longer term, then you sit on it. Yeah. Right? Then you sit on it and see what happens. And I'm not saying that, what's going to happen, because we talked about government regulation, and I still feel somewhere in my gut that they won't like Bitcoin. They'll do something to Bitcoin.
Yeah, I want to talk about this. I want to have a conversation about this, because very interestingly, I got articles popping up all over, because obviously what we're searching and all that, the Google, how they target you with these things. But I was reading an article this week about, if I try and find it, I'll try and link it in the description. But the article I was reading was the fact that the governments are also, the government in the UK are also considering on how they can start like specifically taxing crypto as opposed to banning it, because they know a lot of money is being made, and this country is at a, we all know the shit show this country is in terms of debt. Let's forget other countries. Let's just look at the UK. So forget USA. Let's just look at the UK. The UK in itself is in a shit show in terms of the biggest deficit and debt we've had for like all time, right? So they need to pay that money back, and they know crypto is a high. People are making like there's been the more millionaires in the last 3 years alone, even if they're secret millionaires, has been like immensely more. So they're talking and thinking about ways on taxing. Obviously, the two taxes we've got at the moment is mainly there's two differences. If you're a miner, the income you earn from mining then counts as a job, whether you're self-employed or something. So you've got your income tax on that. So the profits that you gain. And there is also some other additional clauses. I'm not too sure on what the nitty-gritties are, and the second one's obviously capital gains, basically. Your simple capital gains that you so technically, because now what's happening is we're getting overlap of where, okay, so the government are seeing cryptos as assets. So it's all these sort of laws and regulations that they're now starting to discuss. Okay, do we then list crypto as official assets? If we list them as official assets, then there has to be a specific tax for it, right? If they're listed as and does it come included in it? So at the moment, it's just capital gains, because capital gains is literally defined as any lump sum of money that ends up coming in your bank account, basically in your account. So I wanted to get your opinion on that, and because we got one side of banning you know, which is also like what India has done. India did that, right? India banned it completely. And we've got the other side of it, where government's going, actually, there's a lot of money here. If we ban it, we're just stopping it, making it illegal, but we don't get our piece of the pie. Yeah. But now we can get our piece of the pie.
But it's not just the UK. The Americans are doing that as well. So they're thinking of introducing capital gains. They've made it so that, you know, some banks, if you're doing crypto, they need to know where the money's coming from. And they will not allow, some banks in the UK will not allow transfer of money from crypto wallets into your current account, or they'll ask you where it's coming from. And this is all going towards, and I tend to, that's a good argument actually, on the counter side. If they ban it, the valuation drops, right? It goes underground, but the valuation drops. But you're right, they don't then make their piece of the pie, basically, right? But it's unregulated. It's unregulated, so there is nothing stopping you from opening up an account somewhere else and transferring your crypto into that account. There's nothing stopping you, right? So this is where I think, yes, it's a good counter argument that, you know, this way, if they do taxation on crypto, then basically they're getting their little, you know, commission out of it, basically. But because it is unregulated, it can be transferred anywhere.
It's true.
It can be transferred anywhere. You know, I mean, if I was going to do it, you know, I'd probably buy loads of gold coins. I can go somewhere, buy gold coins, come back and sell them.
Exactly.
So I think trying to regulate it, I think yes, I agree. They're giving away profit. But they have to think about how to actually do it. Whereas India has just said, well, India has said that they're going to tax Bitcoin anyway.
Right?
They banned it, but
they done both.
They banned it. You're selling it. You're going to give me your commission off it. So that could happen. So they can say, well, we're banning it, and by the way, any profits that you've made,
we're taxing it.
And we're gonna tax it at normal CGT levels.
Exactly. It's really interesting. Which
is fair because every one of us has to pay capital gains. Right at the end of the day. So you shouldn't, you should not be exempt from not paying capital gains.
Exactly.
If you've made capital gains, then you should be paying capital gains.
It's interesting because, like, this is actually one of my concerns, is that the investor mentality, or I don't like to call it the investor mentality, or the mentality that this sort of market brings, goes completely against, like, obviously the biggest attraction to crypto is the decentralization, right? Is the fact that people want to have their own power, people want to have their own freedom, but with that comes, like, what people don't understand, with that comes a lot of responsibility in terms of, now, okay, so what you're saying is you're going against what the governments and the schemes that, obviously, we all know that every government or whatever government is not perfect, but these laws, policies, and systems are set up in place in order to keep society going. UK is technically, well, not even technically, it is one of the safest countries to be. If we look at all other countries, even the USA, right, you are way more safer. You got much better infrastructure, whether it's healthcare, whether it's safety. We ain't got guns here, etc., etc. And we've got that because of the British law and British policies in place. Now, what happens is when we got things like people thinking, oh, well, I'm going to go into crypto because I ain't got to pay tax on my money, right? It brings about a very, for me, it's almost like a vicious mentality, which does not understand the way actual society works. And people don't actually understand what decentralization actually means, that you have to then take on a lot of shit yourself. Like, if everything was decentralized in this world, you would not be able to survive. We need centralization. We need authority. We need a body. We need policies. We need laws in order for things to work. Otherwise, the world would be. It's like have you seen that film?
Oh my God, Kiki is conforming. Oh my God.
No, have you seen that film?
What are you drinking?
What's that film? When after like 10 o'clock, they have this, like, anyone can do whatever they want. And they have this,
The
like
Purge.
The Purge. That's it. That's what it would be.
I watched it.
Do you know what I mean? So, like, obviously being involved in the market, there's obviously a lot of hype in terms of like the money you can make, the profitability, etc. But I've never been the person to be like, whatever I make, I'm gonna try and avoid tax or something, right?
No, but the thing is, you still have to, even in this country, you still have to, when you do your tax return, you still have to say your capital gains.
Oh, yeah, 100%.
And crypto is
100%.
capital gains.
Yeah, exactly.
So if you speak to a regular accountant, he'll tell you, unfortunately, you've got to pay capital gains on it, right? If you've made a profit, you have to pay capital gains on it. Now, the thing about decentralized and crypto is the path is easy to follow, which is how crypto is done. Yeah, the blockchain is a path. That's how they perform and mint new coins, right? So it's an easy path to follow. Now, with the government wanting to print their own crypto, because that's what they're talking about, printing their own crypto. They can track us left, right, and center. Right? They can track, and they can have their piece of pie of us at any stage, basically. Right? But that's where it's going. I still like the decentralized system. But yeah, so I think that's exactly where it's going, Kiki.
Yeah, 100%. I agree. I agree 100%. I think it's gonna take a long time. Like, part of the reason why it takes a long time is the complexities and laws and things like that, where there's very gray areas, and the fact that there isn't a direct way of, the whole point of a decentralized network is that you can't control it. That's the whole point. So obviously there's going to be complexities there. That's just a given. So it's going to be interesting the way, because this is now the second wave, right, of actual bullish movement, which means this becomes a serious market, right? Now, like Ripple basically are going through a law case, right? So by a lot of what I've read and also rumors, they are winning it, and in my opinion, they are. Which
is why it's gone up.
What is one of the biggest reasons why it's gone up. And in my honest opinion, they're winning it because this bull run now, if anything, and by the way, if any people don't know, on a very surface level, one of the biggest claims that the SEC are looking into is that Ripple was selling XRP as a secure investment, basically a legal, like an asset class, essentially, and classing it as an asset class or an insurance or something. And they're winning the case now because the second bull run confirms that it is an asset class, simple as. And we have the right to, if they're not accepting or denying whether they did or didn't, but they are fighting against the case that if they did, but then it's fine because it is an asset class, it is an insurance. Look at the market, and the SEC are not getting any, and we know they're not going to get any evidence to say that it's not an asset class, because this second bull run for crypto confirms that. The fact that governments are starting to tax cryptos confirms that. The fact that HMRC have cryptos written in their policies confirms that. You cannot go against that now, right? Yeah. So that's why. Yeah, absolutely
right. And the fact that larger banks are recommending their wealthy clients to actually go into crypto as another form of investment. Exactly. They've concreted that, basically going, well, it is an investment, basically. Right? Exactly. It is a form of an investment.
Yeah.
So yes, and I think I think Ripple will have, it was banned from all our platforms in the UK. A lot of the companies stopped trading in Ripple until they knew what was going on.
Yeah, what was going on, exactly. Yeah.
And it's made it hard for those people who had XRP, and it's made it difficult for people who didn't have XRP and have been trying to go into XRP.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
But so I think we live in interesting times, right? No one knows what happens, and the numeric is, investments go up as well as down.
Yeah, exactly.
Right. Go. But I think one of the biggest cases this week that we should all look for is an IPO. Do you know which IPO it is that I'm talking about?
No, I don't. I'll be honest.
Coinbase is going this week.
I never knew that actually.
Well, that's why you come to me.
Yeah, that's why I come to you. I didn't know it was that quick. I knew the IPO. I didn't know when it was. This week.
You should buy it, man. It's one of the few IPOs that are coming in. It's one of the few IPOs that are coming in.
Yeah.
Right. That basically makes a profit. They make a huge profit.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right. Because of the bid offer spread. If you look at the bid offer spread and the amount of volume that they do, they're one of the few IPOs. Normally you get the IPOs going, well, we're making a loss, but in the future we're going to make this, we're going to make that. They're actually making it right now. Billions, right, of profit. So it will be interesting to see whether, if, and I'm saying if, and I don't believe it may, if it tanks at the IPO stage, right, you should still buy it.
Oh yeah.
But if it does, it will send, and I'm going to use a pun, it will send a ripple out.
Yeah.
In the market, and people will just go, oh shit, they'll get cold feet about crypto. If it takes off, crypto's going to take off with it.
Yeah, exactly.
Right?
Huge player.
These basing patterns are, I think it's a waiting game to see what's going to happen, basically.
One thing that excites me actually is that, like, this is the first time we're seeing the crypto and the stock market like merge. That makes sense. That's exciting, because it's like that's now going to become a mammoth. Like So
Coinbase out.
I'm checking my bank accounts and seeing how much money I got for them transfer checking.
Coinbase out. Yeah, but just wait, right? And then just wait to see what happens, right? But it is one of the few IPOs that makes money. Full stop. Right?
It's a once in a lifetime IPO.
It's a profitable company. Now, just basing it on it may be a profitable company, but valuations are based on it. Right? So it will be interesting psychology wise, right? Because it makes its money through the transactions of crypto. Right? So if people believe that crypto is a fad, they won't buy into it.
Yeah, exactly.
Because they'll think, well, actually, it's a bit of a fad. And yes, they've done this profit. They've made, I think they made over $1 billion, right? In the short term, right? Of accounts as well. So, okay, it's going to be a fad, and that profit margin will fall as crypto values fall, right? Or cryptos fall. But Coinbase stores a lot of crypto for a lot of people. Right, so it's a way of storing your crypto, way of transaction with your crypto, right? So it will be interesting to see how that Coinbase IPO goes. Now, what was interesting last week was Deliveroo, right? Was it last week or the week before? I can't remember. Deliveroo tanked. Absolutely tanked. Right, it's a tech company. It's the stay-at-home opening trade. It tanked. They overvalued it anyway. Right, it's a non-profitable company. Completely away from Coinbase. Completely away. Right, but it tanked. So it just made people a little bit nervous about. Well, it's a techie company. It's tanking. So I think Coinbase will be an important marker for this week. So please keep an eye on that.
100%. Don't worry.
And if it starts shooting up and it goes to, and a lot of people, I think a lot of people who are into crypto will be buying Coinbase.
100% they will be.
And I've got a gut feeling it's going to shoot, right? Because they'll all be, you look at what happened at NFTs. We were going to talk about NFTs, if you don't mind, right? NFTs now, that hype seems to have died down, and people are losing money in NFTs.
So I was looking at like percentages of the resale. So people, what they're doing is they buy it and quickly sell it again. The percentage of the resales are actually going down as well. There's a lot. Exactly. There's a lot of, like, I think the very first backlash was the huge like NFTs take way more energy than like even like crypto. Well, it's similar amount of, because basically it's like mining, right? It's the same sort of energy levels. And all of a sudden you've got now this creative industry going in and trying to create all these NFTs. So it's creating a lot of like pressure. And I've seen a lot of people that have started NFTs and reverted themselves, then seen these sort of impacts. But there's all sorts of stuff. And also what people are realizing is that it can work well for the artists that are already like, they're established, basically.
Which is what I was saying to you. If you're an artist, if you're a musician, it's a good way of getting your stuff out. Or an artist to get yourself out. If you're actually a trader, no. Don't do it now. Wait until the dust settles and see what happens.
Agreed. Agreed. Yeah. Interesting. I think the other interesting thing about it is how short-lived these like little hypes are becoming. It's insane.
I know.
This is what I'm saying.
It's just crazy, isn't it? Crazy.
It's
crazy.
You know what? I must say, yeah. Like
it's a drug. I'm telling you, it's a drug addiction.
Yeah, it is.
You're going from one high to the next.
Yeah. Honestly, I don't have as much experience as you, obviously, and like for me, it feels like I've been in this market for ages, just because of the amount of like hype and changes, and it's just insane. It's absolutely ridiculous, you know. But man, I'm worried. I'm worried for the future kids, what they're gonna have to go through.
They're gonna inherit nothing, mate. Yeah. The government will tax them to high heaven. It's ridiculous what we're doing. Absolutely ridiculous what we're doing, right? But yeah, NFTs. You know, again, what I think will happen with NFTs is that you're going to find. You'll start hearing stories in the papers going, people have lost so much money in NFTs, right? It's paper loss, right? And unless they sell it to someone else for a lower value, it's a paper loss. But there'll be people coming on the market saying, well, I've lost so much money. And then that negative vibe will actually do a snowball effect on NFT resales, right? And it'll bring that market down. Whether NFTs are here to stay or not, I don't know, is the honest answer. You know, it depends on your personal value of whether you think it's art or whether you don't think it's art. Certainly, it's a great way of individuals transacting their own, be it art or be it music to the public without having the music companies actually publishing it and stuff like that. But, you know, you could do that anyway. Right. So, but cryptos did the same thing. It just went up and then it crashed again. So it'll be interesting. So if you're into NFTs, you know, just think about what we've said today. You know, it is something that you've just got to be aware of.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah,
I agree 100%.
So you're going to show some charts then, Kiki?
Well, we'll have a quick look at charts, and it'll be fantastic to get into the property side, which I've also got some. So we're going to have if I just first of all find my screen, and then I'm gonna, if you just let me know when you can see my screen, and then I'll know I'll be good to go. Yep, perfect, cool. So,
Bitcoin.
So I think we'll go through a few, and then we'll just look at some sort of levels and obviously, and so just coming back to what even Marttand was saying, you know, with and what we were saying about how Bitcoin's just, you know, so this is on a weekly. On a monthly, you can't really see much, so we want to go zoom in on a weekly, so we can see, you know, so for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 weeks, you know, we've had a nice, but we've had a consolidation sort of region, right? We've been trading in between. I mean, we had, I would say, an average low of around 50. Well, we came all the way down to 50,000 basically 3 weeks back, but basically on average trading between around 53 and up to 60, base 61, basically. So at the moment, you know, with everything that's going on with all the alts, the only real thing about Bitcoin is actually breaking this barrier here is what we're looking at. You know, we want to have a solid breakthrough, not only just popping its head up, but we want to have a solid break and close and a retest of this level of this. Anyway,
I don't think, you know, looking at it, Kiki, that chart is a basing chart. It's almost an ascending triangle, basically.
Yeah, exactly. And
it looks, you can see that it is looking to break out, right? So if it tests back down to 56 again, you know, but when looking at it, an ascending triangle can also break to the downside.
Exactly.
Right? You can break to the upside or the downside, which is why I say I think Coinbase, the IPO Coinbase, is pretty much going to be determining what's going to happen, I think. Because if that IPO takes off,
It's just going to feel more confident.
Reconfirm to people, Bitcoin and all the altcoins are here to stay. But I'm sure all the other charts are all similar to what you're showing us now. Actually.
Yeah, exactly. So that's a bit, like you said, we could see it break up or down from this, and I definitely think Coinbase is going to have a big sale on that. So we will go down to Ether, and we'll just go this on a smaller scope. So Ether is a very we've broken.
Yeah, look at what Ether's done in 2021.
Yeah, exactly. So
it's mad.
This was the alt in January 2018. So just before we've had our big crash, right? And you can see what it's done. This year it's insane.
Yeah, but it's a lower. If you go to January, what it was trading at January in 2021.
Yeah, January was here. So January.
No. Is that January? Yeah.
Yeah. So this is January this year. January this year, we were at the lows of 2705. And then at the end of the month, the highs of around 13, 17, 14, about 14, 19, basically. Yeah. But basically, January this year, we tested, at the end of it, we tested the high of the previous bull run, basically, is what we did. And of course, and then February came and we broke it. So February, we had a massive sell-off as well. So we had a huge rise, you can see. And then there was a big sell-off as well happening. And then obviously, in the last month, March, is that whole NFT hype, which you can see what the effects of that sort of month was with the NFT hype, obviously being based.
Have you got a daily chart of Ether?
Yeah, sure, 100%. Here we go.
See, there you can see it's facing again.
Yeah.
So it's a very similar pattern to Bitcoin.
Yeah, exactly.
But what you tend to find is Ether percentage-wise moves a lot more than Bitcoin.
Yeah, definitely. It definitely does. Yeah, if you have a tracker chart, you can see. Keep your the bell icon on. So if anybody's got any of the tracker apps, you will see on the average what Ether moves compared to Bitcoin. You will be able to see. You will see the huge differences in that. So yeah, 100%. So for again, like this is very difficult. Ether and Bitcoin is, you can't say where it's gonna, where it could hit next. Now the altcoins, you have a bit more of a say, which we'll show you in a second, because you've got some key levels there. Which we'll go to next. So we'll go to Ripple next. Now, Ripple, so this is on a monthly. So what I want to highlight here is we had a high on the Ripple of around 3.3. We're around 40% up of what that high was, basically. So 40% on the way there of what that high was in that January 2018. But if we come down to the weekly level, the very first key level that we needed to break on Ripple was this region here. This is where we had a lot of stagnation going on. So this is the ceiling that we needed to break. Again, averaged in, so maybe around there. We've fully broken it, but again, we need a week close. This is on a weekly candle time frame.
What about doing a daily? Kiki,
do a daily. So I'm gonna go down to the daily, for sure. But the one thing I want to highlight here is then one second. I'm going to take this level here and then show you on the daily, basically. So we'll come down to the daily now, right? So now what we've got happening is, okay, so in technical terms, at the moment, this is looking like a shooting star. So a shooting star, we normally see some sort of trend reversal. We have to see how this plays out. There's no telling with crypto. Crypto can burst anytime. So I don't necessarily I don't know about yourself, Marttand, but I've never really done too much of the actual candlestick technical analysis with cryptos, because the crypto's all over the place, and it's not this. I don't feel like the same trading principles.
Yeah, but you have to wait, like this one. You
have to wait.
Determine it on one candle.
Yeah.
To see what the next candle
develops. The next candlesticks do. Yeah, exactly, 100%. But the difference what we have with these is we have some back data here. This is why I put this line on the weekly. So if we just go and track back, well, we can obviously refine this. So I'm just doing a line here as opposed to a region. But if I did a region, we're looking at this area is again, so crypto is very volatile. You can see how big these candlesticks are, right? You can see how much this would move in a day. So it's on a daily chart, by the way. So you can see how much these cryptos move on a daily. But again, we're looking at volume, the volume of where, so here is essentially the price has come down. We've resisted against this, or support region. And then we've tried to break out of this region. Now, if we stretch this region out to the left, that's where we're sort of heading, right? Is the next target. Oops, let me just go like this. that's where we're looking. So we're nearly touching that region already, and we're going towards that. So we're as I said, with the altcoins, we're able to see with these sort of key levels. With Bitcoin and Ether, it's impossible. We can't. There is no telling of where it's going to stop, where it's going to potentially reverse or whatever the next move will be, where it's going to form a base, where it's going to start stagnating and going sideways. But as I said, with the altcoins, you can start to see that kind of stuff. Now, these are just very sort of rough key levels. But obviously, after that, for me, the next one really is around here, this region. So 2.46 is a very, very key. You can see, again, a lot of volume there. But that's Ripple. Anything on the Ripple from in your opinion, Marttand?
No, look, again, we talked about the SEC and Ripple. But look, all the currencies move in tandem, right? Some move greater than the others, and all the altcoins are moving more. Have you got any more altcoins as well?
So we'll do one more. I'll let you pick, and then we'll go into property. I've got.
No, you pick one.
Well, no, I'll let you pick this one because I've done the free. So we've got.
What about Dogecoin? Let's have a look at Dogecoin. It's not a proper crypto.
Yeah, Dogecoin.
Not a proper crypto.
Doge. How do you spell it? D-O. Yeah, got it.
Yeah, you got it. There you go.
Dogecoin. Okay.
Look at that.
Yeah.
But look at so Dogecoin is not a proper crypto.
Yeah.
It's not a proper crypto.
Yeah, it's not. Yeah. This is January this year, by the way.
Yeah, but that's when Elon Musk tweeted it.
Yeah. that's how everyone knows the Dogecoin. If you don't know already, just go back on Elon Musk's tweet.
Yeah. So I mean, what other coins? I mean, I like Litecoin.
Litecoin. Let's Litecoin. Litecoin's here.
Right. Yeah. See, same sort of thing. If you do the daily, that's the weekly. If you do the daily, you'll see the same pattern.
Same thing, exactly.
Yeah, same pattern. But the Litecoin pattern again, it is forming an ascending triangle.
Yeah.
Right. In fact, in that one, it actually looks as if it's breaking out.
Exactly. Triangle. So this is actually the region here, right? We've got this region here.
That's it. So it looks as if it's actually breaking out of the ascending triangle, retesting back, and then is going to make the next move up, basically.
Exactly.
Right? Now, the reason why is you look at Litecoin, it's 260 there, right? Or 240.
256.
I'll tell you the exact amount it is now. But it was 240 when I looked at it last. Let's have a look. So Litecoin is actually up 8%. So it is 258, 257.
Yeah.
Now people think, actually, that's $257, right, to buy one coin, whereas Bitcoin, I'm paying $58,000. Yeah. So, and if Litecoin performs like Bitcoin, then actually, I'm a small-time investor. I can buy maybe 10 of those, invest 22 grand in it, right? And then all of a sudden, I want to see what happens.
Yeah, exactly.
Right? And that's what people are doing. That's exactly why they're going to the altcoins.
Yeah, 100%.
So they're hoping that these transactions that you see in Bitcoin, and what will happen if Bitcoin, you will see less dramatic moves in Bitcoin, which is what we're seeing, but more dramatic moves in the altcoins.
Yeah.
Time to buy the altcoins.
Yeah.
I actually feel that if I was going to, I would actually go out and start buying a little bit of the altcoins.
Yeah.
I'd get a bit of Bitcoin, which is what I think all these Bitcoiners are doing. Right? And then the drawdowns and the ups on Bitcoin, that's what Ethereum is doing. That's what ETH is doing. That's what Litecoin are doing. Right. They're doing those same movements that Bitcoin was doing before.
Yeah, exactly, 100%. And it's you're spotting these things, and that again, guys, see, like this is why we showed you the charts. By looking at the charts is so important. We stress this again and again. But yeah, I think that's a good wrap on crypto.
Yeah, but the other thing I want to add is, let's say, right, you're starting out on brand new, right? And you think, well, you can spend $258, right? Or 200 quid almost.
Yeah.
Right? Buy one Litecoin.
Yeah.
And you just go, buy it, see what happens, really.
Yeah.
And that's what that's what people did with Bitcoin.
Yeah.
In the beginning, they went, I believe in it. I believe in it. I'm just going to tuck it away and see what happens.
Yeah, no, 100%. Because
if it goes to zero, it's fine. I've lost 200 quid.
Yeah, no,
whatever. But
exactly.
lots of people did that. I went, well, I can afford to lose this, so I'm just going to buy it. And
exactly.
all of a sudden they're going, shit, I look like a bloody genius.
Yeah. Exactly. And I'll be honest with you. So I invested in my portfolio in 2017, right?
Yeah.
A lot of the altcoins, so not Bitcoin, a lot of the altcoins. And that was the mentality. I put a fair amount in, and it was literally, okay, I'm happy to lose this, whatever, but let's just see what this thing does.
Exactly.
Poke it and see, do you move? What happens? So and that's what it was. Obviously, after that is when I started getting more knowledgeable, understanding what it is. Then obviously there was more investments made, more strategic investments.
And the other thing you've got to remember with crypto is you have to determine what type of investor you are. Otherwise, you're going to lose money in crypto.
Right? You need to be clear on that.
You have to determine what kind of investor you are in crypto. Either you're a trader or you're an investor. An investor, you're actually phasing in, and you're not concerned to the everyday movements on 10% up, 10% down. Right? You're doing it for the long term, and you're hoping to get a good reward that way. As a trader, you're looking at it and you're just trading in and out. Right? But if you go into buying one of these altcoins or Bitcoin as an investor, but you then are acting as a trader, you're gonna lose money, because what's going to happen is you're going to panic out of your situation. Right? You're going to panic out of and you're going to sell at the bottom, and you're going to buy at the top. Right? So you just got to decide what kind of investor you are. If you're a trader, you're trading it every day and you're watching the charts and everything else. If you're a long-term investor, you're just buying it, tucking it away, and just seeing what happens.
Yeah, exactly. 100%. Yeah. That's a very, very good point. And I mean, to be honest, investment all over, whatever you're investing in, that is a key principle, is being clear on what type of investor you are. But definitely. Cool. So I'm really, really keen to get into the property, because there's some exciting stuff happening in property. And in terms of, again, movements, what I've been observing, you've been observing. But Marttand, I want you to like what we was talking about earlier. I want you to just go into what you're starting to see in property, especially now, and then where that sort of market is heading.
Okay, so I actually bumped into a very good friend of mine recently. I was just out and about, and I just bumped into him. I hadn't spoken to him. I said, "How are you doing?" And he was saying, "What else I'm going to do? It's lockdown." Right? But I said to him, "Doesn't this remind you of 2007-8? We've been in property a long time." Right? And property in 2007-8, you couldn't go wrong. Right? And he said if you are actually a developer, it's a great time to sell. Absolutely fabulous time to sell, right? Depending on the type of stock that you've got. But London prices have come down, right? But prices elsewhere have gone through the roof.
Everywhere else.
Through the roof. Right? Because because of lockdown, the mentality is, I don't need to be in the city anymore. So they've been looking at houses that are further out from London, saying, well, I've got all countryside around me, and it's great for family life and stuff like that. So those properties have gone up, right? Whereas London property prices haven't really gone up. You've got things in Canary Wharf that are down on its knees, because a lot of people, and I've always iterated to every one of my mentees, right? Do not buy anything off plan. Do not buy anything, that guarantees your rent, right? Because they're pulling your chain. Right? There is no free lunch in life, right? And the chain that they're pulling, and a lot of these investments in Canary Wharf were sold to investors saying, "Yep, we'll give you a return of over 2 years of 5%, what have you." And now they can't even rent them out. And the investors are standing there going, "Well, actually, I thought it was worth this. It's not worth that." Right? So there are pockets in London where it's not selling, and there are pockets in London on the outer edges that it is selling. Right? One of the other things is rents have dropped in London. They have dropped in London, whereas rents in certain parts, there is still a shortage. So, in Kent, there is a shortage of decent properties in Kent. And people are, because it's further out, right? So the rents are beginning to creep up. Whereas in London, in inner London, they were creeping down. So what you've got to be mindful of, and this is what I'm mindful of at the moment. I look at it and I go, it doesn't feel right. It doesn't, because I'm an investor at the end of the day, like everyone else. I trade properties, but property is a longer term game. By the time you buy it, you sell it, you refurb it, you're looking at least 5 months or maybe even 6 months. Right? Say it takes you a month to refurb, right? You bought it. It takes your solicitor now forever to actually get the transaction through, right? Roll on crypto.
Yeah, exactly.
Roll on crypto, bang, bang.
We need that speed. We need that speed in the market, man.
Yeah. So, it takes you maybe 2 months, 6 weeks to do the transaction. You refurb, you put it on the market. So you're looking at a fair length of time, and you don't know you're at the whim of the market, right? So if you don't buy right, you're catching it at the top, hoping to make a profit, and you're not going to make a profit.
Yeah.
And it very much feels like with the reduction in stamp duty, now they've obviously extended it a little bit, right? With the reduction in stamp duty, the first-time buyers as well, that they've reduced the amount of deposit that first-time buyers have to put down, right? It just seems to have put a buzz back into the market. There seems to be, and this is the other thing that we were talking about. You was talking about, well, give me, and I'll tell us about the thing that you did in Milton Keynes with this house.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Well, it was, the fact is that looking at other areas and looking for even things like apartments, and the fact that we are booking viewings, going in, and within 2 days, they're going for just over asking price, and also they're just flying off the market like no one's business. It's insane. It really is. It's like in an area which you think, not even what
that's
you think.
Milton Keynes, yeah? That's
Milton Keynes. And in an area where 6 months ago we were looking at houses for the same prices of apartments, we are now having to consider apartments instead of a house because of the price of the apartments is like matching what the houses was 6 months ago, which is it's crazy. It's crazy.
I mean, and then the other example, right, is you can look it up. There was a house in there was a house in Washington, right? In the suburbs of Washington.
Right.
It was listed at, I think it was $240,000. Needed a huge amount of renovation work. It was, I think the description was needs deep love or something like that, right?
Yeah.
It was just falling apart, right? Falling apart. And they'd listed it for way above what they thought it was worth.
Initially.
Yeah. They had offers. It sold for $500,000.
Wow.
It's a 2-bed house in the outer
suburbs.
It's not, in the suburbs. And it was a cash buyer who came in to buy it. 2 things are happening. There is limited supply of stock, of good stock. And because there's a limited supply of good stock, people are just clamoring over themselves to buy it, basically, right? When I saw that story and I read that story, I thought, okay, are we approaching it? Are we approaching something that just does not feel right? And I remember in 2007, people were going completely nuts into the property market and in the auctions, and they're still doing it now. Complete nuts, right? They're paying way over the odds for some of these properties. Now, bearing in mind, property investors are, I would say, the vast majority of property investors don't have the financial fortitude that I have, and what I look at and how I determine valuations and things like that. But if you were looking on the basis of, fiat currency is shit, my money's worth less, and most property investors, 99.999%, don't believe they're looking at it that way. They're just clamoring on. They're FOMOing in, basically, right? But the other perspective is, well, actually, there's talk in the press that you're going to get negative interest rates, right? So the banks are going to charge you money for keeping your money in the bank, right? And so now people are going, well, I'm not going to keep that money in the bank. I'm going to go out and buy an asset, right? Buying physical assets like gold, silver, crypto, property, any asset, art. We'll talk about other investor classes, right? But people are clamoring into these in the hope that they will save, their fiat, get away from fiat. But most property investors don't think that way. They don't think that way. They're thinking, well, I'm just gonna buy it. I'm gonna buy it, right? So valuations I think, are extremes at the moment in all asset classes.
Yeah,
right? In all asset classes, they're at an absolute extreme at the moment. So bearing that in mind, if you were an investor now, right? If you were worried about inflation, if you were, and that's not to say, we are going to be in a mini boom, right? People are going, well, we're going to be in a boom, boom. We're not. That boom will only last for a short time because that boom, once people have traveled, right? That boom will be in travel, even though we can't travel at the moment, right? People could buy products, right? But there's a shortage of products, like building materials. There's a huge shortage of building materials everywhere, right? Because of Brexit and also because of COVID, right? So all that, it's shortage of supply, short supply. Houses are in short supply. Everything is in short supply. It's shooting through the roof, right? So that will cause inflation. Now, what will happen is, we'll see this mini boom, then we'll just taper off and go down back to where we were because people have spent the money. And people then go, oh, actually, I thought we were in a boom. Well, no, you're not in a boom. This was a false thing that people are just saying we're going to break out of. We're breaking out of. We've been in this lull for how long? Now we've got even greater debt than ever before. Taxation's going to go up, right? They're talking about, taxation going up for landlords, everyone, right? So obviously that'll have an effect on the overall economy, right? So, the property market as it stands at the moment, right, property market can be very fickle, right? It's mainly driven by certain investors actually wanting to get their money out and into hard assets. The other way is first-time buyers, and because I remember, look, I did make a mistake, right? Whereas I said, I don't believe property is going to go up. And I didn't anticipate this bloody stamp duty being reduced. The amount of stock that was limited even more. If stock levels rise, and bearing in mind, landlords cannot do evictions at the moment or anything else, right? Banks cannot do evictions and force landlords to sell, right, at the moment. Those levels will rise. Now we're hitting April once the economy starts tailing off. And what you'll find is that house prices don't rise, they'll just tail off. And then it'll be interesting to see what happens then to house prices, right? So you've got to be mindful of that. Now, if you are looking to hedge against inflation, right? I've always said, gold, silver, crypto, but these asset classes, financial asset classes, they move with the financial markets at the end of the day. The biggest thing that's going to happen are going to be soft commodities. If you really want to do something special, and write this down, right? Write this down and remember, Marttand told you.
Yeah.
Right? If you want to do something really special, go into softs. Soft commodities.
Okay.
Wheat, sugar, barley.
Yeah.
Look at, if I can bring you up charts, I haven't got charts ready, but next time we do it.
Yeah.
Right. Oil. So oil will take a little bit of a tank down to 52, maybe, right? Maybe, right? Long term, this is an inflation hedge. This is actually an inflation hedge. So if you're worried about inflation, this is hedging your inflation. It is an asset class. Now, with people feeling, the reason why I say soft commodities and where people are missing the trick is people are going to start going out. They're not going to restaurants at the moment, right? So the amount that they're still buying food, right? Don't get me wrong, but they're not consuming as much. But with this booming economy, they're going to start consuming a lot more. So if you look at soft commodities, right, they have not risen much. They have not risen much compared to what the stock market has done. So there'll be a rotation out of that. And, you know, if inflation comes about, people go, well, actually, I'm going to hedge against inflation. So the best way for people to actually think about it is maybe look at ETFs, soft commodity ETFs, which track wheat, sugar, and you don't have to be an expert to do it. But maybe we can do maybe the next one we can do that. Right? And then I'll give you more of an update of, you know, house builders, stock prices, and how that's reflecting. And it is going up. It is all going up at the moment. Right? Because I think that's where the biggest trick is for investment purposes. I think you need to look at undervalued and under-owned classes. Gold is hated. Silver is hated. You know, that's because of our friend Jamie Dimond, or Dimond, as you would say. But there is manipulation going on. Whereas, you know, I said to you, you try and buy a 1 ounce gold coin. It's very difficult. Very, very difficult. There are a few limited supplies there. You have to place the order and you have to wait 2 weeks for the order to come through, whereas before you had it, right? So with gold and silver, because everyone is piling into crypto, right, as an alternative to gold and silver. Well, gold and silver has been around for decades, right? Decades, centuries, right? Eons, right? So it will come back. So you need to look at always stuff that is out of favor. When we do property, right? When we did property, I remember I took you on a mentorship all the way up to Stoke. Can you remember?
Yeah.
So, and I said to you, you know, the North was unloved. The North was totally unloved, right? Especially these old mining towns were all unloved. Rochdale, you look at property prices in Rochdale now. And we were investing in those areas. Why? Because they were undervalued. They were actually below build cost.
Yeah, exactly.
You remember I said that to you? I said, listen, this is below build cost. It will cost you more to build this house
than it will to buy it.
than it will to buy it.
Yeah.
Right? That's because obviously it's all related to the job market and everything else.
Yeah.
But it's an undervalued asset. Now, with COVID, people can travel anywhere. People can work anywhere. You know, northern hubs, entrepreneurs up there, you should be thinking about setting a business up there. You don't need to be in London. You can employ people for a fraction of the cost. Office space will be a fraction of the cost, and you can still communicate everywhere else. Yeah, so that's opened up a lot of opportunities for people, and that's why I think a lot of these northern houses that are exploding in price. Yeah, so I think maybe a good video to do would be on the property side, and people can let us know. Right, I'm more than happy to you know, whatever people are feeling that they would like to learn more about and are interested about. That's what they should be doing. Yeah, but with you, like I said, with Milton Keynes, I got it wrong. Where I got it wrong was, but I will be right, because this can't go on. I will be right. Yeah, but I don't know whether it's going to be 6 months' time, 3 months' time, or a year. I suspect, and my gut tells me, it's going to be within months. Within a 3 month, 4 month window.
I think
once the stamp duty dies down, everything else, then and
that's going to be the critical like turning point. Once the stamp duty dies down, 100%.
Stamp duty dies down, all of a sudden, bank repossessions start occurring, and then there'll be a little bit more stock on the market. And then just seeing and it'll still be snapped up, don't get me wrong, but there'll be less of a frenzy. I mean, the frenzy is because people want to beat the stamp duty. They want to get that 5%. So that's but in Washington DC, it's madness.
Absolute
madness.
That's on another level, man.
So I'm just saying, hold on, it don't feel right. And if you remember my prediction from the last video, I said to you, Dow 34,000, NASDAQ or NDX 13,800. Go back and watch the video, right? We're over that.
We're
over that.
We are. Yeah.
Right? We're over that now. there are things happening now, which I follow certain patterns and for certain cycles and stuff like that. That I feel that in the next month, weeks, we'll be seeing a top develop.
Mm-hmm.
We'll see a top develop in the financial markets.
Yeah.
Because again, it's at an extreme.
Yeah.
Right. And that top will be, if you look at the if you look at the Russell 2000, that's already seems to be forming a topping pattern.
Mm-hmm.
Right. It seems to be forming a topping pattern because it's come a long way. Right. I mean, the NASDAQ is up from its lows 100%. And things haven't changed. It's just, so I think it'll be interesting to see what happens and how my thesis pans out. Obviously, it doesn't cost me anything. Well, it costs me in the positions that I take. But it doesn't cost me anything to say, but I have got money on the line. Now, I'll be honest with you. I've got money on the line because I put my put my money where my mouth is.
Exactly.
I don't. I just don't. I'm going to do that.
Yeah,
this is what I believe. That's what I think. I'm going to do that, and I think it will pan out. But I think it will take a little bit of time, maybe 4 weeks, month. By April, by May, it'll be interesting to see. And then housing market will come in, economies will open up, and then people will go, okay, let's open up. But it's business as usual almost.
Exactly.
And then they'll go, so how many more, when you go to a restaurant, you're not going to go to a restaurant 200 times. You stay afloat, but you're going to go a few times.
Exactly.
He's not made up for that lost year of revenue.
Exactly.
So there's loads of people who are not in the internet, but I think it's a great time to buy a business. I think, we're a wealth.
We will do actually a video on that because that is a thing that I've been looking into. And it's so weird that you just literally said that because honestly, the last 2 weeks, I was even saying to my partner, I said, you know what? I think it's a good time to
buy a business.
Buying businesses.
100%.
We need to do a video on that. We need to do
100%. I've got a friend, right? Bought a taxi company. Mini cab company. Right? Because obviously they're on their knees. But the economy will open up and they've expanded it a great deal. It's a good time. As an entrepreneur, it's a good time to buy a business. Too much uncertainty out there, and they're undervalued. Remember?
Yeah, they are.
They're undervalued.
I've seen some of these companies, honestly, like some of them revenue of like 100, like even 100K revenue, right? A net profit around 50 to 60K. 20,000, 30,000 starting prices. Like it's insane.
Buy it. You pay it in half a year.
Insane. It's absolutely insane.
I think definitely. I think we should do that. And it's not just in the UK.
No, not just UK. No, everywhere. Literally.
And if you're a proper entrepreneur, forget property at the moment. Forget property at the moment. Go into
so many opportunities.
There are loads and loads of opportunities out there. Absolute wealth of opportunities. And if you're a youngster, go into buy a business. Go into buying a already established business that's unfortunately had because of COVID, valuations have dropped. You may say, well, I don't know anything about business. Most people don't know anything about business when they go into it. You don't need a bloody MBA to do it.
Exactly. And
common sense and a way about you.
Common sense. Don't forget, a lot of the infrastructure is already in place. You're not like a lot
supply chain, everything is there.
Exactly.
I think definitely, Kiki. I think what we need to do is definitely.
So cool. That sounds good, man. Well, again, Marttand, it's always insight, and the biggest value in this comes in these videos comes from your experience as well, which always like there's always so many golden nuggets in these videos, and even just for me. So I just can imagine what it is for other people as well. So it's the market, like guys, as a very, very good summary, the market, whether we're talking the property market, stock market, crypto market, even buying businesses we're talking about now as well, right? Everything moves, everything is always moving, but it's about your timing, it's about your knowledge, it's about when you're getting in, it's about understanding the definition of what kind of investor you are. All these things are very, very important.
And value at the end of the day.
And value. Exactly. You know, staying to the principles. Why the hell are you actually investing? And don't forget that. Like, why are you actually in this market? Yeah. And some people get in the hype and they completely forget that. And that's when they end up losing money. So, you know, that's why we cover a lot of stuff. And again, infinity wealth is about building that infinite wealth and not just like sucking everything from one vehicle or something, right? We're looking at all these different opportunities and different sort of vehicles and etc.
Yeah, we're not one-trick ponies.
Not one-trick ponies, exactly.
Yeah, we could niche. We could niche, and we could just do that. Yeah, but, it is because things have different cycles.
Yeah, exactly, 100%. But yeah, apart from that, is there anything else that you wanted to add?
Just like our videos. Yeah, share our videos. It's important. We're trying to grow a community. Yeah. Right? We're trying to grow a community, and I'm sure that once everything opens up, we'll do something in central London. Yeah. Right? And people can come along, right? But above all, share our videos, like our videos. And what we put out, one thing above all, what we put out is not just based UK. The world almost moves in tandem now, right? So ideas that come from over there that, you know, just one thing.
Go for it.
Off. Right. Someone said about, did you know Amazon are opening one of these ones where you just go in, pick up what you want and leave? Yeah. Do you know what? The Japanese did that 5 years ago.
Yeah, I was actually reading about this. They did that,
5 years ago. Yeah. And when the Sony Walkman came out, can you remember the Walkman and the iPod Shuffle?
Yeah.
That idea was nicked by Steve Jobs from the Japanese.
Yeah.
It was brought over. Yep, they thought that the idea was there, that the conception, they saw the potential, they moved that round. Yeah. That's not taking anything away from Steve Jobs. He was absolutely brilliant on that. Right. But just goes to show you that anything, whether you're in the US or whether you're in the UK, what we talk about is also in your local market.
Yeah.
The same opportunities are there because it's translating that way.
Exactly. 100%. Okay. I completely agree on that, and I think that's a very, very good way to end this episode.
Good.
But apart from that, again, thank you so much for your support. If you have any questions, again, like, you know, you've been fantastic over the last few weeks. Actually, we've got some really good questions. I've been replying to them. But what we're going to do is we want to get a few more questions in, and we are going to do another Q&A. So any more questions, drop them in the comments below, or you can email at info. It will come up here, info@infinitywealth.me, and we'll be happy to get them answered on the next show. So apart from that, have a good week. Enjoy the markets. Enjoy the ride.